Guyana is a country on the northern coast of South America, bordered by Venezuela to the west, Brazil to the south, Suriname to the east, and the Atlantic Ocean to the north. Its capital is Georgetown. Although it's located in South America, Guyana is the only English-speaking country on the continent, and culturally, it has strong Caribbean influences. The country is known for its rich biodiversity, with vast rainforests, rivers, and wildlife, as well as the famous Kayatur Falls, one of the world's tallest single-drop waterfalls. In recent years, Guyana has gained recognition for its rapidly growing wealth due to major oil discoveries off its coast. Since the discovery in 2015, Guyana's oil industry has boomed, leading to massive economic growth and quickly elevating the country toward becoming one of the wealthiest on a per capita basis. This oil wealth has the potential to transform Guyana's economy and infrastructure, though it also brings challenges like managing environmental impacts and ensuring that the wealth benefits the whole population. Guyana's journey to becoming one of the world's wealthiest nations by GDP per capita is remarkable, especially considering that it was once one of the poorest in the region. In 2015, ExxonMobil and its partners discovered massive offshore oil reserves in the Stabroek Block, estimated to contain over 10 billion barrels of oil. These reserves have since positioned Guyana as a new powerhouse in the oil industry, with production scaling up rapidly. The country's economy has experienced unprecedented growth rates, in some years exceeding 40%. This growth is expected to continue as more oil fields are developed, making Guyana one of the fastest growing economies in the world. The government has created a sovereign wealth fund to manage the oil revenue, aiming to invest in infrastructure, education, and healthcare to create a more diversified economy that benefits future generations. However, there are challenges too. Guyana needs to avoid the resource curse, a common issue where countries rich in natural resources struggle with inequality, corruption, and environmental degradation. The country is also grappling with how to balance oil production with environmental conservation, given its vast rainforests and rich biodiversity. There's an active discussion about using oil wealth to support sustainable development initiatives and ensure long-term prosperity for all citizens. Guyana's transformation is both impressive and complex. With its relatively small population of around 800,000 people, the revenue from oil production has a significant impact on the country's GDP per capita, putting it on a trajectory to become one of the world's highest per capita earners if production continues at its current rate. One of the major projects funded by oil revenue is the modernization of infrastructure. Guyana has been working on improving roads, bridges, and ports, which are essential for economic growth, especially for a country that previously had limited infrastructure. This development is critical as it can also attract other industries and promote more diversified economic growth. Education and healthcare are also priorities. Oil funds are expected to support initiatives to improve educational access and quality, aiming to create a skilled workforce that could reduce reliance on the oil sector alone. Investments in healthcare infrastructure are intended to raise the standard of living and ensure that the benefits of the oil wealth are more broadly shared among citizens. However, there are political and social complexities. The rapid influx of wealth has raised concerns about corruption and inequality. Some citizens worry that a small elite might capture a disproportionate share of the oil profits, leaving the broader population behind. Transparency initiatives and strong governance are essential to address these concerns. The government has committed to anti-corruption measures and transparent reporting of oil revenue to reassure the public and build trust. Environmental concerns also loom large. Guyana is known for its pristine rainforests, which are part of the Amazon rainforest ecosystem and host a rich diversity of species. There is pressure to protect these forests while developing the oil sector, and international environmental organizations are watching closely. Guyana has explored carbon credits as a way to monetize its rainforests, essentially getting paid to keep them intact as part of global climate efforts. Guyana's leaders face the unique challenge of balancing rapid economic gains with sustainability, aiming to become a model for how a resource-rich country can use its wealth responsibly. How Guyana navigates these challenges in the coming years could serve as a blueprint for other developing nations with similar resources. Guyana's oil boom has not only transformed its economy, but also drawn significant international interest. Major oil companies, including ExxonMobil, Hess Corporation, and China's CNO, are involved in the production from the Stabroek Block, which has multiple active oil fields. The rapid increase in oil exports has brought in billions in revenue, creating geopolitical interest, as countries around the world see Guyana as a strategic energy supplier. Beyond the immediate wealth, there's a strong emphasis on transforming this windfall into sustainable development. The government is cautious about making the country solely dependent on oil, especially given the global shift toward renewable energy. To mitigate this, there are discussions about using oil revenue to fund renewable energy projects like hydropower, solar farms, and wind energy. This approach could help Guyana meet its energy needs sustainably and align with climate goals. There are also social impacts. With oil wealth comes a rise in the cost of living, which can make life more difficult for lower-income residents. Guyana has seen an increase in real estate prices and demand for services as foreign workers and companies set up in the country. This has led to housing shortages in some areas, putting pressure on the government to ensure affordable housing and manage urban development wisely. In addition, Guyana is becoming a regional player. Its newfound wealth and investment potential have made it a hub for Caribbean and South American integration projects. Partnerships in trade, infrastructure, and tourism are growing as other countries recognize Guyana's potential. There's even talk of building a deep water port to enhance trade capabilities and serve as a gateway for landlocked countries like Bolivia. In the midst of this transformation, Guyanese citizens are eager to see tangible benefits. Public opinion is focused on ensuring that the oil boom leads to real improvements in everyday life, from job creation to education. Guyana's success in managing these challenges could set a powerful example for other developing nations finding wealth in natural resources. It's a delicate balancing act, but one with incredible potential to reshape the country and possibly the region. Guyana's transformation due to its oil wealth has spurred what some are calling an oil rush, with both local and international companies rushing to capitalize on new opportunities. Georgetown, the capital, has seen a rapid increase in high-rise buildings, hotels, restaurants, and commercial spaces to accommodate the influx of business activity and foreign workers. The city, once relatively quiet, is evolving into a bustling urban hub, showcasing the impact of newfound wealth. One unique aspect of Guyana's approach has been its strong focus on forming alliances to manage its resources wisely. The country is working with organizations like the International Monetary Fund, IMF, and World Bank to help structure its sovereign wealth fund, drawing lessons from oil-rich countries like Norway to manage and invest its oil revenues for long-term stability. This fund aims to ensure that even if oil production slows or prices drop in the future, Guyana will have reserves to maintain economic stability. Another critical area of development is the education sector. Recognizing that oil wealth alone won't sustain the country forever, the government is investing in vocational training and scholarships to build a skilled workforce. This includes programs focused on fields like engineering, environmental management, and IT, which are essential for diversifying the economy beyond oil. Many young Guyanese are returning from abroad, lured by new career opportunities in the oil and gas sector and related industries. Environmentally, Guyana has been a global voice on climate issues and is known for its commitment to conservation. Despite its oil production, the country remains a key player in initiatives like the REDD+ program, which pays developing countries to preserve forests as a way to offset carbon emissions. Guyana's vast rainforests act as a carbon sink, making it an important contributor to global climate goals. The government has pledged to balance oil production with environmental conservation, aiming to become a carbon-neutral economy by 2045. Culturally, the oil boom is reshaping the country's identity. There's a renewed sense of national pride and optimism as Guyanese citizens see their country becoming more prominent on the global stage. Yet, there's also a strong commitment among the people to preserve their traditions, heritage, and community values amidst this rapid change. This moment represents a mix of opportunity and responsibility as Guyana steps into a future that's both exciting and challenging. How it navigates this journey could redefine what it means to be a developing nation, transitioning into wealth while honoring its culture and natural resources. Guyana's oil boom has opened doors to sectors that previously had limited resources, sparking transformative projects across the country. One of the biggest impacts has been on transportation. The government is investing in new highways and road systems, including the ambitious road link between Guyana and Brazil. This project, which would connect Guyana's coast to Brazil's Amazon region, could position Guyana as a key trade route, providing Brazil with access to the Atlantic and boosting commerce for both countries. In agriculture, which has traditionally been one of Guyana's main economic pillars, oil revenues are helping to modernize the industry. This includes better irrigation systems, advanced farming techniques, and investment in agro-processing facilities. The goal is to make Guyana a major exporter of rice, sugar, and other agricultural products, ensuring a diversified economy that can thrive even if oil prices fluctuate. Tourism is another emerging sector, with Guyana's natural beauty drawing attention from eco-tourists and adventure travelers. The Kaieteur Falls, vast rainforests, and unique wildlife are seen as valuable attractions that could create jobs and revenue beyond oil. The government is working on sustainable tourism projects, balancing visitor numbers with conservation efforts to protect its delicate ecosystems. Socially, the country's growth is reshaping Guyanese society. With the economic boom, there's been a cultural renaissance as well, with increased funding for the arts, music, and cultural festivals. The annual Mashramani Festival, for instance, celebrates the country's independence and has grown in scale, drawing visitors from around the world. This boost to cultural pride has been uplifting for Guyanese people, especially those who endured economic hardship in the past. Yet the rapid transformation is not without tensions. The stark income gap between those benefiting from the oil industry and those still struggling is an ongoing concern. The government has introduced social programs to reduce poverty and support communities, but managing expectations remains a challenge. There's a strong push from civil society groups for transparency in how oil revenues are spent, aiming to prevent inequality and ensure that the wealth is shared fairly. Internationally, Guyana's rising prominence is reshaping regional dynamics. The Caribbean community, CARICOM, of which Guyana is a member, now looks to the country for leadership on issues like energy security and economic development. Guyana is also strengthening ties with the United States and China, as both see the strategic importance of its energy resources. In sum, Guyana stands at a historic crossroads. The choices it makes now could either set it on a path to sustained prosperity or lead to the pitfalls faced by other resource-rich nations. If Guyana successfully navigates these challenges, it could emerge as a model of sustainable development, showing that a small nation with big resources can find a way to thrive in the global economy while respecting its people and the environment. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more content, and leave a comment below. See you next time.